Hey, brothers and sisters, just coming to you live with some breaking news on this, Wednesday afternoon, the 26th of June. Can you imagine this? On the day before the debate with Biden and Trump, on the day before, another abortion-related leak from the Supreme Court. Let me just say a few things about this because the story is just literally coming out now. And I want to just give you a little bit of a framework to think about this because we'll wait until there are more details to comment more extensively. But brothers and sisters, as I said just a few moments ago, we found out that a leak of an abortion decision that we're waiting for from the Supreme Court in the EMTALA case. Now, that's the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, federal law, which in itself is good. And it has come, however, to the Supreme Court because of the assertion of the Biden administration that somehow it's supposed to override Idaho's pro-life law, which protects babies from abortion. And now, so there's two things to say about this. One is the fact of the leak itself, and the other one is a little bit about the case, what we should understand about the case. First of all, apparently, a draft of the opinion was temporarily, but the court said inadvertently, posted on the court's website just a little while ago. First of all, this is not tolerable. We had a big abortion leak 2 years ago, as you'll recall, with the Dobbs decision, and that caused all kinds of havoc. As it turns out, that leak was just prior to the final version, but it was pretty substantially what the decision ended up being. What was leaked apparently today, just for a little interval, is a dismissal of the case. In other words, sometimes the Supreme Court rules on the question that is before it. So in this case, does the federal law EMTALA override the Idaho's pro-life law or not? The Biden administration is saying that it does. So the court can decide on the question that is brought before it on constitutional basis, or the court can say for various technical reasons, we're not going to decide this question right now. Now, you remember that's what they did with the other abortion decision that just came out a matter of days ago about the FDA and the chemical abortion. They said the doctors that brought the case did not have standing, so they weren't going to judge it on the merits. So you can't say, oh, it's a victory for pro-choice. What happens is that the consequence of the court not deciding the question is that whatever the latest decision was from the lower courts then prevails. So in the case of the chemical abortions, and in this case, that lower court decision would favor the abortion side, but that doesn't mean that that's the permanent outcome. The case could be brought again. If the court doesn't judge, that means the court doesn't judge. What was the... So we'll see what happens. We'll see, first of all, will the final decision, will the official decision be what we saw temporarily leaked today or not? Hold that in reserve. We'll see what other changes might be made in the meantime. But whatever the outcome, if in fact they end up dismissing it and then the lower court ruling stands that says, and I'll explain to you a little bit more about this, that says that that in emergency rooms in Idaho, abortions do have to be performed like the Biden administration says. Well, then don't let people say, oh, you see, the Supreme Court sided with Biden or sided with the abortion industry. They did not. If in fact this is the case that they are going to dismiss this and not rule on the merits, then they're not siding with the abortion industry. Don't let people get away with saying that. Secondly, is this a coincidence? I don't think any of these things happen by coincidence. Tomorrow night is the debate. This would be a talking point for Biden. See, the Supreme Court backed me up. Of course, he'll say he doesn't even know the difference, and he won't make the distinction for the audience about the difference between ruling on the merits and not ruling on the merits and letting a lower court decision prevail. The lower court could have just as easily gone the other way and prevail for the pro-life side. The point is the Supreme Court did not side with Biden. They didn't decide. We'll see when we see the actual decision, if that's the case, what the reasoning was that they used. But understand finally what the case is, and it's ridiculous for this EMTALA law has been in place for decades. It's ridiculous for the Biden administration now to come along and say, oh, it means because it's an emergency medical treatment law that you have to perform abortions, even if the state says no, there are no abortions. The state of Idaho has a pro-life law. It actually does allow an exception for medical emergencies for the mother, saving the mother's life. It allows for that. So you can't say, oh, Idaho is trying to keep women from life-saving treatment. That's another thing. I'm sure Biden is going to bring that up tomorrow night in the debate, ignorant and lying as he is. He is a lying, corrupt person. He doesn't know how to do anything but lie. And he lies and he lies and he lies again. We'll talk more about that tonight, by the way, in my Praying for America program, which I hope you'll watch. But the EMTALA decision never, ever has been interpreted or understood to require abortions. In fact, here's the point to keep in mind. It doesn't require any standard of care. The point of the EMTALA law, which the Biden administration is trying to use as a sledgehammer for abortion, the point of the EMTALA law is very simple. You don't turn a patient away from an emergency room. That's it. It doesn't provide a standard of care. It doesn't tell doctors what procedures they do or don't have to provide. As a matter of fact, the understanding behind the law is it's against what's called patient dumping. Okay, just because a patient can't afford medical services, if they're in an emergency medical situation, you treat them in the emergency room. Take care of everything else later. You don't turn them away. You don't dump them. That's EMTALA. It's not about abortion. As a matter of fact, EMTALA says you protect the unborn child. You protect the mother as well as her unborn child. So for them to use it as you have to perform abortions, especially if the state already protects the unborn, no. The merits here are so clearly on the pro-life side, so clearly, that if the court has in fact dismissed this, then it's for one of the various legal reasons they use to dismiss cases, and we will delve into that once we see the official final decision. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to come on real quickly to give you some important perspectives on this breaking news right now. Don't be confused. Don't be overly disturbed. This thing will be dealt with. And it just goes to show the overreach of a pro-abortion administration, the overreach of the Democrats. They try to be tyrants. They don't care about state law. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about anything. They certainly don't care about you and me. They don't care about the unborn or their mothers. They don't care. They're evil. They're wicked, and they have to be voted out of office. Join me tonight on Praying for America, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll talk more about all this. Thanks, friends. Wanted to bring you that breaking news, and God bless you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Follow him, Father Frank Pavone, Fr. Frank Pavone. He is the National Director of Priests for Life. Please go to priestsforlife.org.
Frank Pavone. Frank, thank you very much.